on you, Simon. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thanks, Tony.
Cheers. Simon McCulloch from the Bureau with the information you need at 20 minutes to 1 on the Tasmanian Country Hour on 936 ABC Hobart and ABC Northern Tasmania. Well, the sweet smell of success is permeating through a Kingston workplace in southern Tasmania as Essential Oils goes to the next stage of its expansion. The company sources product from farmers throughout Tasmania and can now turn the botanicals into perfumes. Reporter James Euster was on site today at the official opening to speak to Stephen Gleeson from Essential Oils about the expansion.
And we've got 5 scents, the scent of Boronia, lavender. We also have a Tasmanian mountain pepper, which is a male scent. And we also have the scent of the pearl, which we're bringing down from Indonesia.
Bottling the perfumes now, how much of a different approach to the business is that?
It's a massive change. It's a new sector for the business. We've created 2 new jobs already and built this facility that we're standing in now. Only last week we started production of bottling of perfumes.
Why going into bottling? That's a completely different market to what you have been doing. Why did you decide to venture into that aspect? From
Tasmania, this little facility in Kingston, we're going to be exporting those pearl powders and proteins to USA and France in bulk to go into cosmetics. So our clients will be multinational, billion-dollar turnover companies, and it's just a big, huge change for this business.
Going into a new venture like this, how much of a new and experimental phase is this for you, or do you have a sort of solid idea of what lays ahead?
We have a solid idea of what lays ahead. We've been working on this for 5 years. So Atlas Pearls and Perfumes have been working on this venture for 5 years. There's a lot of IP tied up. We acquired Essential Oils of Tasmania 2 years ago for this very purpose, and we're right at the forefront now.
How much of a boost will this be to local growers? Is this a completely Tasmanian product?
It's a combination of Tasmania. Our perfumes are mastered in France, but the products are all Tasmanian. Our growers will mean more crops we need to grow, so it'll be jobs for Tasmanian farmers. We grow in 20 locations at the moment all over Tasmania, about 300 hectares of crops. That needs to increase, so that'll be jobs for more farmers.
How much are you looking to increase that 300 hectares to?
Around about 500 hectares over the next 2 years. So that's a 60% increase. So hopefully that's 60% more jobs.
What are the margins for growers in growing products like the products that end up in the oils? Is it a fairly rewarding industry for them to go into?
It's rewarding, but they have to have scale and they have to realise that it's a long-term venture. So when you put a crop in the ground, it can take, in our case of our Boronia, which we're the only supplier of the world of, it can take 4 years to get that crop up to maximum production. So yeah, it's a typical farming model where your money's always coming next year.
Is there any trouble with supply or attracting farmers into this market?
No, there's no trouble. It's really at the mercy of Essential Oils of Tasmania to find the demand internationally for these products. So we don't want to be producing crops that don't have a commercial outcome for the farmer.
Things have been thrown around like Paris, New York, Tasmania.
Yeah.
Where does Tasmania sit in this market? Is it a fairly small player?
We are the only luxury brand in Australia that will be exporting its perfumes to the likes of New York and the streets of Paris. So this is a groundbreaking moment for Tasmania.
And today, what type of things will we be able to be looking at? What does this facility include?
So we have the only pearl extraction and protein facility in Australia, which has just been commissioned in December. We have the only supercritical CO2 extraction units, there's 2 of them here now, which will give us the capability to do clean extraction of pretty well any botanical. Gives Essential Oils of Tasmania a whole new stance in marketing a clean green product.
How many workers will be here on site?
We have 15 employees at the moment. Next year we're going to have to move because we're just outgrowing this facility, and we're looking to move to a site on a farm site at Margate and open up a tourist facility over the next 2 years.
How much of a grant did you receive from the federal government for this new facility, and what has that grant allowed you to do?
So we have Senator Betts here today, and the federal government has funded us a $1.1 million Commercialisation Australia Grant, and this facility would not be here today if not for that grant. The two employees that would put these machines together and built these facilities have been employed as a direct result of this grant. So already seeing the halfway through the grant. We've got other things we need to do and commission and commercialise. So yeah, it's great for this little company.
So halfway through the grant at the moment, what's the second half of that grant going to entail?
And the second half of the grant is to build more extraction units for new products. So we're looking with a botanical fire tree, which is the grass tree, to make a new perfume out of that. And that needs a whole dedicated plant. We'll build that at the new site when we get there. And we also involves a lot of marketing and overseas and getting commercial supply contracts into Paris and New York.
That's Stephen Gleeson from Essential Oils talking there to reporter James Euster about the company's expansion into the perfume industry from their Kingston plant. Right on 1:45 on the Tasmanian Country Hour, we'll detail the review into the SCAS Live export system in just a moment. But the chairman of